In Your Health on this Thursday morning, there's a new study by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention that reveals that 1 in 4 teens has considered suicide in the past month, and 40% of adults are struggling with mental health or substance abuse caused by isolation, job loss, racial trauma, or just the coronavirus itself. So to kick off September's Suicide Prevention and Awareness Month, the D.D. Hirsch Mental Health Services will host its 22nd annual Alive and Running 5K. And this year's virtual event takes place this Sunday, streaming on Facebook Live, and will be hosted by D.D. Hirsch Executive Board member and longtime advocate for suicide prevention, Miss Melissa Rivers. And Melissa joins us now via Skype to tell us more about this important initiative. And I feel like this pandemic is keeping us from seeing you on your annual visit here, Melissa. We usually get to give you a big hug and hear about what you're doing. Now we have to do it over online stuff. Good morning.
Yes, we do. Good morning. How are you?
Great. Nice to see you, as always. Listen, I know why you're here. It's such a passion for you. And we're learning about the physical, emotional toll this pandemic is wreaking on people's lives. The CDC just came out with a study that reveals some very concerning data about how youth are being affected during this pandemic. What are you seeing?
Again, like you mentioned, we're seeing 1 in 4 teens and young adults in the last month considering suicide, which is understandable considering the situation we're all living in. You're talking about, teens whose entire high school life has been disrupted. You're also talking about college kids, especially incoming freshmen, whose lives are not at all what they expected them to be, and especially coming off this almost 6-month lockdown. So it's a really frightening, as far as I'm concerned, statistic. The thing is, there is help out there. And, so much of what we do at D.D. Hirsch is sort of the concept of erasing the stigma of stepping out and looking for mental health and reaching out. We offer a comprehensive 24/7 bilingual hotline, which is, I think, so important because some of the marginalized communities are really stigmatized by asking for help for mental health. And this is giving them an opportunity to be able to do it in a way that they are comfortable.
Melissa, you're having an event that you typically would have in person and people could really be a part of it. It's festive and people really understand that they're doing this for a great cause and bringing awareness to it. But obviously, as Giselle calls it, the pandemic pivot, we have all had to do that, including this event. So what are you guys going to do differently, and how difficult maybe was it putting this together?
Well, first of all, aliveandrunning.org. Go there, sign up, make a donation, anything you want. The point of Alive and Running is for those of us who have lost someone to suicide or for people who have attempted suicide, the idea that we are still alive and running. This year, obviously, it's virtual. We're having a kickoff on Sunday, September 8th. Sorry, my days are all messed up.
You're not alone.
You're not alone.
You're not alone.
I never even know what day of the week it is anymore. Starting at 8 a.m., it'll be streaming on Facebook Live. You can participate any way you want. You can walk around the block. You can, I was saying for some of my girlfriends, let's measure it out. And we're going to put a bottle of rosé at the end.
That's incentive enough right there.
Run on your treadmill, walk around your backyard. For some of my friends who have smaller children, I'm like, time out and measure how much you follow the kids around.
Right.
There's a ton of different ways to participate. We're also going to have a big ceremony at the end, in obviously virtually. And I just think, it's so important for mental health also to have exercise and moving. So you're really doing good for yourself and for others.
Right. And it's so wonderful that you're making this pivot because it's so needed right now. Listen, Melissa, you say this every year you come, and I think it bears repeating. What advice do you have to parents or loved ones who have a young person who is really struggling right now, and there's no really set answers? The kids can't go back to school. They can't have a lot of play dates. They've even canceled Halloween. They can't go trick-or-treating. So
I actually heard yesterday Halloween was back because the kids are going to be wearing masks.
Ah, there you go. Well, listen, we're all pivoting in the pandemic.
Right.
That will be all of our costume, and we'll do it at home and virtually. But what advice do you have for parents who are dealing with kids who feel so isolated and cut off from their peers and their normal routines?
Talk about it. start a conversation. The most important thing for teens and young adults, I believe, is understanding that you're not stigmatized. You're not an outsider. There's nothing embarrassing about talking about it. And I think the more parents are open about how they're feeling and starting that kind of conversation with their kids, it's the first step. And also to know the warning signs. And at Didi Hirsch, we have all of those listed. We have amazing volunteers. We now call it the Lifeline. There's also a chat, because very often teens are more comfortable talking through a chat. We're totally comprehensive at Didi Hirsch. You just must talk about it. You have to, just like we've started this whole conversation about 2 years ago, where no one would talk about mental health. And now all these celebrities have come out discussing it, and depression and all these different things.
And you, Melissa, at the forefront
of their favorite people as an example.
And you always at the forefront every year, you know, putting your passionate heart into this work. And I'm sure.
I mean, I'm a survivor of losing someone very close to me at a very young age to suicide. And it does affect you. And if you do not deal with it, it will continue to affect you.
Right. Well, we are filled with gratitude that you share your story with us every year, and the tips and the advice in this great event. Thank you so much, Melissa. Great to see you. I hope the next time we see you is because you're in the studio saying hello.
Right here in person.
Right here in person.
I mean, wouldn't that be awesome?
Yes. Take care and good luck for this event. And if you would like to participate, you just visit didihirsch.org for more information. And if you want details about the virtual 5K run, what do you got to do?
You have to visit aliveandrunning.org, and the event will be streamed on Facebook Live this Sunday, September 13th, 8 a.m.
That's right. Melissa, always doing the great work, right?
Again.
Okay, we'll be back.